Okay, so welcome. This is our last 2025 Be Coached Live, which is incredible because I always start the year thinking Christmas is so far away. You know, when you're at that January and you just got over Christmas and you think, oh, it's like ages away. And then all of a sudden you're like, bam, wow, it's upon us. My God. And I don't know how you guys feel, but this year has been I actually don't have a word to describe this year, to be honest. I don't know. Let me throw it out to you guys. Do you have a word? If you could think of a word that sums up this year so far, we're not at the end yet. Anything can happen. Plot twist, that can happen yet. But how would you guys sum up this year so far?
Fast.
Fast, yeah?
I think a roller coaster for me.
Yeah.
Chaotic. Particularly.
Chaotic. Well, I think of a word and I don't know why. Maybe my word is stunned, like kind of like stunned or shocked to the point where you're like, you know, on a bike. But yeah, things have been quite roller coastery. And I think since obviously so many world changes that have happened over the last few years, we really have been quite destabilized. And it feels like that destabilization is continuing. And I think for a lot of us, we're like, what is happening? When is it going to stop? When are we going to get back to normality? When are we going to feel like we have some safety and structures in place that we can understand? We can rest assured, okay, we know how the world works and we know our place in it. Because there are so many changes that are going ahead. But that being said, looking at like the astrology of things, this is actually kind of meant to be as it is. Um, and it is destabilizing, and especially with AI, how that is taking shape is quite incredible. And even myself, I'm really getting involved in AI and I'm trying to create an AI version of the academy, which opens up the resources to everybody to help them to build their business. So, AI is absolutely fascinating, isn't it? But we have to remember, like it's learning from us. We are learning from it, but it can't produce anything until it learns from us. So it's such a mirroring thing. But I do find like we are, well, I talk about myself, the relationship that we have with AI. Does anybody else have a relationship going on with AI at the moment?
I wouldn't say I've got a relation. Well, I suppose I have. I've listened to a lot of stuff about it because I'm in two minds about it. I can see how it can be very useful in business and what have you. Um, but I also feel that it could be very much abused as well. And also, it concerns me because it used in the right way, it can be helpful. But if it's not used in the right way, it can like literally dumb down people. I mean, like the concern is and again, you can't take everything they say in the media as gospel at all. I only hear what's on the radio because I don't actually watch the news because I just don't watch it. But they were saying the other day that a lot of youngsters are turning to AI for support because they can't get it anywhere else, or they're waiting too long, and I guess if that's helpful, it's helpful. But for me, it's kind of like removing the human element, although it's been that the information's come from humans, it's removing that human element. And in a world where isolation is sort of a problem, they're my concerns. They're my concerns. Lots of concerns, but also I realise that it has to be embraced as well.
Then I hear you, and I think there is a lot of talk around the ethical side of AI, and it just not being this kind of non-bias kind of feedback that you get from it, where it affirms everything that you say, and it actually can be quite detrimental. A lot of learning that it needs to do, and it really is about the frameworks that AI have in place. If it's just completely open and it's got this, the formatting is just to confirm a confirmation bias, and that's negative and detrimental. Yeah.
I mean, it's like when Zuckerberg created Facebook. It was a platform that was meant to enhance society. That was, like the message behind it. But we've all got different views on that. I think it could be good for some things, but on the whole, can be quite a toxic, negative place. And we've got all these comparisons going on with, young people sort of buying into what they see on Facebook and Instagram as being like the competition and the feelings of insecurities and not being good enough. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's used in the right way, fine, but obviously humans have got a mind of their own, and they create narratives to their own end to achieve certain things. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm reading a book called Collective Illusions at the moment, which is really, really interesting, based around all these sorts of things, really.
Amazing. Thanks, Anissa. Hi, Jerome. Hi, Daphne.
Hi.
Hello. How are you both?
I'm good, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm on my mobile phone. a few technical issues, so I just put my camera on.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, there you are.
Hi,
Yes.
hello. Good to
Hi.
be here. Hi.
Oh, so it's great to have you all here. And Ella, this is her first time here. So Ella, do you just want to introduce yourself, say hello, and let us know a little bit about yourself and where you are in the course as well, because you're really getting through it now.
Yeah, I'm Ella. My background is mental health nursing, which I'm still currently doing at the moment. And then I thought I would do this course to try and build my own business, because as much as I love nursing, it's a very challenging job and it's not always that sustainable. So I really want to build my own business from this course. And I'm at, I think, module 8 now. I had like a bit of a break from May, and then I've recently started picking it back up again and getting really into it, which is nice.
Amazing. What have been your insights so far? Have you learned anything new about yourself so far?
Oh my gosh, so much. I mean, each module kind of just opens up a whole different thing for me. It's really, I think one of my biggest things is, in comparison to mental health nursing, how the similarities, but also the massive differences in it, and kind of looking at things from a real holistic perspective, which is really nice. And for me, I really like the spiritual side of things, like focusing on people's energy and all of that, which I don't get to do in nursing. It's very medication bound. And so, yeah, for me, I really have enjoyed learning about all of that so far.
Good. And you've got so much more to come as well with the trauma informed and the 7 steps and the awakened heart healing. So that goes on to another layer. Rachel, you started that, haven't you?
I have, yes. Just started.
Yeah, no, you gotta love it. Honestly, everybody who does the 7 steps, complete game changer. So what I would say is, when you get to that part, you've got to take some time out to do it. You cannot rush it. So just understand that it's not something that you should just race through, really, because it is a lot. Have you started it, Jerome?
Sorry, you mean the which part of the
Might not. I don't think you've got to this, but yeah, the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy.
Not yet. No.
Yeah, so this is based on the chakras and our life story. So this is where, you learn all your coaching through the course and your inner scripts and things like that, archetypes, and then you get onto a kind of coaching program. And it's funny, really, because what the workbooks do is they take the client or whoever's going to use them on a 360 journey. So it's funny because when when a client comes back with a completed workbook, there's not much coaching that you actually need to do with them. It's more facilitation. It's more about what came up for you during that completing this workbook, because they will have gone and done a 360 with the workbooks. That's its intention. So they start to see their life unfold in these kind of spiritual and psychological stages through the lens of the chakras. And they are going on this real deep self exploration, and they don't necessarily need deep dive coaching like you would do, you know, in a normal coaching session. It's really more about holding space and facilitating their change. And then you've got embodiment journals that they complete in between the sessions as well. And really, what happens during what the first workbook is they have these realizations, and it is about embodiment. It's about them becoming the version of yourself that you want to be. So they have an embodiment journal that they have to go through and do and really become, let go of that shedding of the what's come up in the workbook from 0 to 7, what was happening, what archetype was at play for you, if it was the wounded child or the victim child. It's then being able to shed that layer, release that layer, but actually step into the archetype of the one you want. Could be, I don't know, the free spirit, the warrior, the high priestess, whatever it is. Then they have to do that embodiment for themselves, and that happens on every chakra, and there are 7. So you know, it's not a light-hearted program, but it's beautiful, and you're going to love it. So I can't wait for you all to get to that stage. So this session is being recorded, just so you know, and I do share it on social media because it helps people see what goes on in the course if they're interested in it, etc. So let's just see. Daphne, is this your first time joining live? Can't remember.
It is, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
my very first time. Yeah.
Introduce yourself to the group then. That's really cool.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I've met Ella and Jerome, and we had a good call last week. I joined the course in June this year, and it's been slow for me for all sorts of reasons. I started a new job in September. It's quite a big job, and so yeah, I'm just trying to rebalance now, and I'm really getting myself in gear to start in January, although I've committed to Ella and Jerome to get module 1 done in a couple of weeks, and then we're going to do some reflection together. So a bit about me. I'm a CEO of a small business, a small trade association. I've done coaching as part of my work. I've always done various leadership roles. Personally been on a bit of a spiritual journey over the last 5 years, and decided that I wanted to take my coaching into another level. And I hunted for ages to find a course, and this one just sang to me really. So I'm really excited by it. I just need to get there. So yeah, and that's a bit about me.
Amazing, and you will get there. Everybody will get there. However long it takes, that's just part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the first part of the course, you're going to find all the coaching skills. So we kind of teach you to coach. It's kind of mundane coaching, so your standard coaching, all about the mind, goal setting,
Yeah.
beliefs, values. And then we kind of then shift a gear then, and you go into the transpersonal coaching. So that's very much childhood. You know, they say everything starts in childhood, so let's go back, see what happened for good, you know, for better and for worse, and the beliefs that we took on. So we start to deep dive in the inner script, which I think is such a fascinating exercise, is to see what the fantasy, it's called a fantasy script. It's the work of Barbara Muell. She's no longer on this earth, but what she produced was, I think, incredible. And we all create these fantasy scripts as children based on our experiences. So interesting when we figure out what our fantasy script is, because it's still in us. And the lovely work of Byron Katie as well, along with many other things. So you really start to get to learn about yourself. And then again, it shifts gear with the 7 steps trauma and the awakened heart healing as well. So you've got so much richness in there.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself under any pressure, because it is a journey, isn't it? It's not a race to get to the destination, but I get why people want to get it done 100%.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's great that you've now buddied up, because that will help so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Are
They're,
you
they're well ahead of me, so in some ways I have I have the advantage, but hopefully what we can do is practice with one another, which is what we kind of agree that the practice is the real
yeah,
important stuff, as well as, you know, all of the modules. So yeah, I'm excited to get started.
good. Anita, are you buddied up with anybody? Do you need a buddy?
I've got actually, hopefully, a session with somebody tomorrow, lady from Australia. Can't remember her name without looking in my messages now. So yeah, to do the set, because I've kind of like got so far. Then I was going to do set with someone else, well, my daughter actually, and then it didn't work out for various reasons. But I didn't want to keep waiting to do that before I moved on. So I'm kind of moving on, but then I've got to go back.
Yes.
A little all over the place with it, but I didn't want to stand still.
No, and that's fine. And what I would recommend is, when you come to these techniques, I would have it done to you first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would try and experience it from the other coachees a couple of times. What we can ask Rachel our advice, because she's finished the course, what she feels about that, because we kind of want to get these techniques done, but we don't have any experience of how it should feel for the client. So I think it's really helpful if you have a set session with somebody else who's learning, or maybe somebody is complete and wants to practice. Either way, it's good if you can experience it a couple of times.
So the lady that, well, she's part of the course.
Yeah, I know.
Me to do her, like do it on her first. But there is someone else that's messaged me, and I haven't been able to get back to her yet, who wants to buddy up as well. So I've just had an awful lot going on of late. So I will get back to her. But it's kind of one of those things where, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, that you get so far and then you know you've got to do it, and you just keep putting it off, putting it off, and putting it off.
Yeah.
I think that's based around am I doing it right sort of thing, which,
Yeah,
you know.
I get that. And yeah, it's honestly,
I felt like that, but I found that was useful, having the buddy system. I had 2, and that we just spurred each other on.
Yeah, exactly. And I've done it with, I did one coaching session with someone, just the very sort of basic, you know, one to begin with. Got that done and out of the way, so I know it can be done. And I've watched the videos time and time again.
well, I think it might be helpful, if you can, Anita, is to maybe join Ella, Jerome, and Daphne's group.
Okay.
And join, because even if you just observe people doing sessions on each other, practicing on each other in a group of 4, and you know, someone's volunteers and the rest of the observers, and then maybe give feedback and stuff, I think that's really helpful. So the more you can immerse yourself in watching coaching, experiencing coaching, and then having a little go, that is going to just help you so much, because you're not going to get it perfect, and neither should you on your first few goes. It's about learning, getting it wrong, and doing it again. So maybe connect with these guys after the call. And
Yeah, great, thank you. I'll just put a post.
We can send you a message on Messenger, Anita.
Thank you.
That's how we've connected so far. If you're happy with that, we've just got a group chat in Messenger, and we call on Messenger.
Oh, amazing. That's perfect. Thank you. I'd appreciate it.
that's really helpful.
Thank you.
So what advice would you give anybody?
Well, starting the course?
Because you've been through it and doing the techniques and buddying up, really, I suppose maybe. But was there any advice you would give?
For people in the course, sorry.
Yeah, or just doing the techniques and the practice sessions, and you know, the fear that people have around it.
The advice I would give is that you've just got to do it.
Sorry, do you know what, Anita? Did I say Anita? I meant to say Rachel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. How am I hearing Rachel, but I can't see her lips moving? I was like, what the?
I'm clever.
Sorry.
My advice would be to practice, 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 and to buddy up with people. That's the biggest advice I can give. I wallowed around on my own for a long time, and then I came across Naomi and Dee, and we've become friends as well, which is lovely. It's really great. And I've just joined up with Robin and Rachel for the Seven Steps, and they're both beautiful people.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my biggest bit of advice is to
Mm.
join up with others. You can practice with each other, you can watch each other, you can give feedback, you can take feedback. That's the only way to do it, I think.
And get it wrong and feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Have a laugh around getting it wrong. There's no harm that you're gonna do. Just get it wrong. It's okay. It's completely okay. You're gonna have to get it wrong. You're gonna have to get comfortable with getting it wrong. And that's uncomfortable for people. So, Jerome and Daphne, just before you joined, we were talking about this year and how it's gone and how it's for some people, it's felt quite destabilising, and AI and how we felt about it. But I asked the group to give me a word if they could sum up this year. What word would it be? And I was thinking, Ella, were you here when we did that? You were, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
So your sound, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I would say this year has been transformational.
Yay. Love that positive.
I've lost my sound with you. Just give me 1 minute.
And what about you, Jerome?
Oh no, I'm back.
I
Okay.
would say abundance.
Nice. I like it. I love that. Yeah, I really like that. So I chose a card actually before you guys joined, just to kind of see what the archetype was that was at play. And it's a lovely card, and hopefully you can see it, but it says visionary. These are the Caroline Mace cards, archetypal cards. So the light attributes of the visionary is the capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, a willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Its shadow attributes are selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. So this is the archetype that I just chose, and I just wanted to open up a discussion around it really, and just tune into what that means. I mean, for me, it does. We were talking about AI and the rapid rate and its pros and its cons. It does slightly, the shadow attributes do slightly resonate a little bit with AI currently, a little bit. But the light attributes the capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, a willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. And that really brings me on to asking you guys just to reflect on the past year, on the ups and the downs, and everything in between, because I'm sure there have been many. And really just looking back on this year and what came to me before, obviously, we started this, of just tuning in and just thinking about, and this is a weird question to ask everybody. And it's probably one thing that you may want to avoid, or as a coach, you may not want to ask. But I would really ask you all, it's a weird question. I hope it doesn't bring up any triggers too much for people. But what are your regrets? What are your biggest regrets for this year? And what can you learn from it? What in hindsight, what could you or wish you had done differently that may have changed things as you sit here today thinking about it?
I was going to say I don't have any regrets. I do have slight regrets that I've been a bit like a blackbird with courses and like, ooh, shiny diamonds. Let's sign up that. I'm getting better. I've honed down what I'm doing. I've just cancelled one that I signed up for. So I am getting better. And I would have saved a lot of money. But it's a learning curve, isn't it? It's all learning.
Learning. Rather than use the word regret, if that doesn't resonate with you, which I totally get, what else might you look back and think,
I think for me personally, I don't like using the word regret because I always believe that I can't change what's in the past. But one thing that I have kind of reflected upon is I've procrastinated a lot in my life. I mean, one with this course, but two, just with other elements of my life. I went through a bit of a hard time in May, and then I used that almost as an excuse to put my life on hold when it didn't really need to be on hold. And so I probably haven't made as much progress as I would have liked to have made. In just like I always kind of set some goals for the year and I haven't reached all of those goals. So yeah, I would say that's probably something I've reflected upon for me.
yeah, good. And do you think you can do things differently now you recognize that part of you?
Yeah, and I think that's one big thing that's happened over the last couple of months is I kind of realized, hold on, this is almost coming a bit self-sabotage now because I'm just putting off everything I actually really want to do. Um, and so it was almost like a switch in my brain, and I realized what I was kind of doing to myself and to my life, and I was like, okay, this needs to stop. I need to focus and stop making excuses. Which, yeah, so over the last few months, I have seen some improvement in that, which is nice.
That's really, really good. And do you have a kind of big vision? Do you have or not even a big vision, but do you have a vision and a feeling towards where you're heading and want to be?
Yeah, I do. I think my biggest thing is I want to travel. I have always had massive urges to travel, to kind of leave where I am. And um, so my biggest vision right now is to be able to um yeah, be able to almost be free, if that makes sense, to just have that freedom to travel around as much as I like, meet new people, meet new cultures. Um, so that's something that's really in my focus at the moment.
Sure. So it's important, isn't it, that you know what that's a value, freedom, yeah, and that will always drive everything that you do.
Yeah,
And if you end up in a situation where it's not aligned to that value, you're going to know it, you're going to feel it. So if you can see maybe how the coaching business will enable that freedom, that is such
yeah,
a top value for you, then it potentially will help you move past any fear or doubt. And
yeah.
behavior is the procrastination, isn't it?
Exactly. And I think it's really interesting because for years, I strived to become a nurse and I got to being a nurse. And one of my things is I always have to keep learning something or keep doing something. Um, but in my job at the moment, I feel quite trapped. And so then it's like that almost battle at the moment with my inner self where part of me is like, I feel really trapped, and the other part of me is like, no, you wanted to be a nurse. It's like it's conflicting at the moment, but I did the sub personalities module recently and I found so much insight into that. It really resonated with me quite a lot looking into sub personalities.
Can I ask what was why did you want to become a nurse? What was the value that you were meeting there?
That was like the nurturing side of me. I love helping people, always have. And mental health has always taken a massive role in my life. And I'm fascinated by it. But also there's like a risk element there as well. My job's quite, because it's mental health nursing, I work in a very high intense ward, so that kind of risk reward almost that I get, it's like high adrenaline and life or death decisions. Part of me, I love it. I love that side of it.
So in a way, it's meeting a value,
It is.
the nurturing side of you, and a strength, I would say, is
Yeah.
one of your top strengths is the nurturing side. So potentially it's the inner conflict is coming from the way your perception and where you're choosing to focus. And if you shifted that focus, it would help how you felt about your job.
Yeah.
Actually. So yeah, so if we were coaching, then I would definitely be looking at helping you, something in positive psychology where we can cultivate appreciation
Hmm.
for the shit tasks that we don't want to do.
Yeah.
And when we can start to find meaning and value and appreciation for the tasks that we do, but we've told ourselves, I'm trapped, I hate this, don't
Yeah.
want to do this. When we shift that focus, it really does change things, and you will find meaning in what
Yeah.
you do as a trapped
And
situation.
this is it. And it's like when I'm actually at work, I love it. I thrive and I love my job. It's when I come out of work and I think, oh, I've got a permanent job. That's the kind of trapped feeling I have, where it's that lack of freedom and lack of flexibility with a permanent role.
I get that, and there were many things that you could work with a coach that would help you
Yeah.
bring in a sense of freedom and spontaneity when you leave work, all those thoughts kick in, as in
Yeah.
like a child, dance down the street, sing where your heart, and do you know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
shift state. So Jerome, how are you? We haven't heard much from you yet. Sorry.
Sorry, I was reflecting, and I think not regret, but the challenge for me is trying to rush through things in a way to get control over it. So I noticed that at every module, I tend to, well, to approach things from, okay, so there's the reflective practice I have to make, and just narrow and get this in this kind of a narrow view of the material, to be able to make the reflective practice. And so and I feel like it has to do with, yeah, with keeping control. And I really can resonate with the idea of these, sometimes these tasks that you tend to procrastinate because they're, at face value, they look very meaningless and like chores. And they bother me in a way. So I want to get rid of it. And then at the end of the day, I got rid of a lot of stuff, but I didn't find that day very meaningful. So that's the struggle.
Yeah, sure. So it sounds a bit like you've tried the thing, getting rid of the stuff that you thought would bring that sense of, relief or whatever it was, but it actually hasn't given you.
No.
So I would definitely say, what was underneath that? Why was it important for you to have that release? What were you really searching for?
Yeah, I think it's safety.
Yeah.
to be able to feel safe at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you ask that question, it really reminds me of, I remember when I was a child, I think I was 7 years old. And my mother remarried and had a twin. And I
Right.
didn't feel part of the family. So what I did, when I got out of school, I cleaned the apartment. And you make everything nice because they weren't there. And then I hid in the shower and I was just waiting for them to come home and would say, well, wow, how nice is this? How nice is this? So I was just waiting. So, and that was this kind of a rush through things to see what would happen if I just finished it off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then get this kind of admiration in a way, or this kind of release. Oh, they finally see me. So that's what came up to me as a memory.
Thanks for sharing that. That was really powerful, and I could feel that wholeheartedly. And there's so much wrapped up in that, isn't there, where you can really unpack how that experience will have shaped your mindset, shaped your belief system, shaped your values, shaped your needs, shaped your relationships, even your
Mhm.
everything that you approach work with. Because I might be wrong, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I can only assume, so this means I could be completely wrong, is that throughout your life you've held on to the belief that whatever you do is not good enough, you're never going to be recognized. And I could only imagine how that may take shape in relationships where you probably do. And then if the appreciation's not given, then that really hurts.
Mhm. Yeah. And so there's always this kind of, or you say this kind of vigilance. I feel like I'm always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead in terms of, what will happen if I do this and what will happen if I do that. So I've got this kind of strong feedback loops internally,
Yeah.
in a way of damage control, tuning into the situation, to the energy of people, and see what's going on before I, act. Um, so it's really, it's, it takes away all the fun in a way of being, of living.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that. But what's happened is at a young age, a choice was made through external events where we always make it mean something about ourselves.
Mm.
That's not the truth. So our brain lies to us, not intentionally to hurt us, but it makes up stories because it cannot see the whole picture and truth
Mm.
of what is going on in the situation. So we land on something. I'm going to hold on. That means this about me.
Mm.
And our whole worldview is shaped around that hurt and that negative belief that we have about how others see us,
Mm.
how we're not visible, how try and do all this, it's just not good enough, and maybe have these perfectionist expectations that we put on ourselves and even project them onto other people as well, who cannot live up to the imaginary world and fantasy scripts that we've created for ourselves. So it's important to remember that
Yeah.
came from a very hurt little boy
Yeah.
who was so limited in his perception at that time. But as an adult, your perception changes. That's not to say the habits and behavior changes overnight. It doesn't necessarily. There's a lot of work that needs to go in to change the
Mm.
habit. But the more you change it and the more you do the change, the quicker that old habit's gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot to unpack, but it's absolutely workable and coachable and wireable because the brain's malleable.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and I noticed that through the master course, I'm just applying in my work, this notion of holding space and just, as I grew up as a child, just thinking I can control everything. If I can do if I do this, these things will happen. Well, usually it doesn't. So you grow up very disappointed in life and others. But lately, just I'm also in a leadership role, and when I just let go and just ask people what they would want in a situation, what would make them comfortable or happy, and I just let them think, and I'm always amazed by the intelligence of that collective thinking, and then it really makes me so happy to every time notice that if I just let go, solutions are, people come up with that gives me hope and trust in people because I just let go. And that is something that the course brought me to practice with it and see, and it completely changes. I trust the world now. I feel like I can feel this trust in the world because I see it happen.
That's so beautiful and so
Yeah.
profound, and it's like really landing with me. And I think what you've just said is a real kind of gift to us all to really hear. Got a heart there from Daphne. Really, really beautiful to hear that. And I thank you so much, John, from the bottom of my heart to hear those words from you because they landed so heartfelt with me. And it's a reminder to probably all of us, but for me, I can only speak for myself, is to stop trying to control everything with the mind and let the fuck go because beautiful things unfold when you let go and trust in other people as well.
Yeah, 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 indeed. Yeah.
I know, Rachel, you've been doing a lot of work this year, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I finally got to that place where my life was all around control, and yeah, it is unbelievably beautiful to just let go and be. I can't explain how I feel now. I'm a different person, a completely different person. It's like, yeah.
I know. And it's when you feel that way, it's like life is just beginning, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. I feel so excited and so hopeful, and I'm so looking forward to the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? I've never been like a depressive about life, but I've got a new kind of clarity and vision, and I don't know, it's beautiful.
And I'm so happy that you feel that way. And I know you're doing lots of work with other people and on different levels, and everything seems to be compounding for you, doesn't it? It's like, wow.
It's like all of a sudden, it's just like gone dun 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 dun. It's yeah, it's amazing.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So would anybody else like to say anything, ask a question? Has anybody not spoken?
I think for me, it's like, again, I don't use the word regret, but I think I've had a bit of a frustration about sometimes I've had stuff that's sort of blocked progress a bit, but at the same time, I have a lot of stuff that puts me under pressure. So the last thing I want to do is put myself under pressure that I can't get to do some work. Or I've been taking stuff to work and sitting in my car in my lunch break to do work for the course because I just thought even that's going to be some sort of progress. But and I have a vision of how I'd like my life, a vision of my life going forward. And obviously, like that has happened sooner rather than later, but there's a path I have to take to get there. And I think because I'm in a full-time job and I have other family responsibilities as well, it's a bit, all I'd love to do is just sit and study and read. I'm sure we all would, but that's what I'd love to be doing. But, that's not going to happen just yet. So it's I think really it's just a case of me just accepting that, doing what I can when I can, and knowing that every day, every time I do something is a step towards, and also self-care, because I've not been overly great at that this year. And I went to a beautiful healing circle on Wednesday. I'd had headache 2 days, and that day as well, actually, through, I think it was just stress through stuff going on. And I I managed to sleep it off a little bit in the car at work in my lunch break, and thought I really want to go to this because I knew I had to be there. And it was one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced. And the lady, well, we did some inner child work and some meditation and stuff like that, and letting go, ripping up dissolvable paper, putting it in a big vase with flowers in. It was just, there was candles, it was lit up, it was gorgeous. And then she came around, did a bit of healing. She literally held my hand for 2 seconds and went, oh, I can really feel that. I went straight to my head and then straight to my jaw, because I've realised that I clench my jaw and grind my teeth when I'm stressed. And it literally just, the heaviness, the weight of it just lifted. And then I felt absolutely on top of the world, like I've been on drugs or something. Like the next day, I was bouncing off the walls at work. I'm like, oh, I am. And then yesterday, I was feeling okay, absolutely great. And some car slammed into the side of me at a junction, literally knocked me, spun my car out. And I was like, oh, okay. But I was really calm about it. And I thought to myself, had I not had that session, it would have been a very, very different outcome, because my mindset was in the right place, and I'd received healing that made me stronger and more mentally strong. So I just got out of the car and was like, oh, well, it's what it is, isn't it? You know, I'm not dead, I'm still here. It's just a car. And so I realised that out of that, self-care has to be a priority for me going forward, because I haven't done enough.
I love that. Self-care. Yeah, I agree. And I know you have a lot going on, a lot of commitments, and that must be stressful and tiring. You
Yeah.
give a lot, you know, you give a
Mm.
lot to people, and by doing so, our tank can really,
Oh, yeah.
and when we have a empty tank, we can start to then feel quite, I don't know, not resent. I mean, these are my words, not yours, but resentful and bitter towards the things and the people that we have to help, because we just have nothing for ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we look and go, oh God, well, they don't do this to me, or nobody's there for me. Well, it is about balance, isn't it? It's about, like, okay, I recognize that I do so much, and that's the situation that I'm in. But really, what can I do for myself? So filling yourself up in that way, shifting your energy state, knowing that whatever had took place in that healing shifted you into an inner internal state that you can access
Mm.
at any time, because
Mm.
you've accessed it once, you know it's there, you can experience it, and you can give that to yourself. But maybe even just try it when you wake up in the morning, take yourself right back to that place where you felt euphoric.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
it's around people that are of the same, you know, that share the same interests and values and everything. And the collective energy was incredible. And yeah, it just recharged me, being in that environment. I just want to do more of it when I can. So
good for you. Guys, just give me 2 seconds. I just need to answer the door. Oh, thank you, guys. So, does anybody here have anything that they would like to bring to the coaching room, and we can do some coaching around it?
Should I? I'm just thinking about my own situation, Anne-Marie, in that I've just embarked on a brand new role. I'm trying to transition into the course. I'm trying to protect myself energetically, because that's one of the things, certainly of the last year, that I haven't done.
Yeah.
So that's it's a bit of a inner conflict for me sometimes, is that I take on quite a lot, similar to what everyone said, actually. And how do I kind of sustain that level of energy so that I can do all the things that I want to do? So I'm very mindful going into this that I want it to be a positive experience, but equally kind of a bit anxious about, okay, how am I going to do it all? So it's, yeah, I guess it's just sharing where my head's at right now. And I do lots of things to protect my energy. I do lots of healing, similar to you, Anita. I'm part of women's circles. I've recently done my own angelic Reiki so that I can self-heal, which I think is really important as well. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of feeling a bit cautiously quite excited, a bit nervous about this kind of next stage. And trying to self-coach myself through it, and I think having that buddy system will really help. But it's that yin and yang. It's been in the corporate world. I think we spoke about it, Anne-Marie, and then I'm doing your kind of soul's purpose. This is what you really want to do, and it's how you balance the two, really.
Yeah. So I would, and if it's okay for me to be open and ask you open questions,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
what is, and obviously don't share anything that you're not comfortable having out there. But I would ask you to look at the child version of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I would ask you to really reflect on how that child was shaped and molded, and who by, and what by.
Yeah.
So an archetype card that I pulled always has shadow and light, and it was the destroyer energy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a volcano erupting. So the light are releasing what is potentially destructive,
Mm-hmm.
preparing for a new life.
Yeah.
And the shadow attributes are intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. So I would say, as adults, we are still running on our child scripts, right?
Okay.
One of us, yeah. And if a trigger is, I need to get this done, I take on so much responsibility, I've got to do everything, and I've got to get it right, and probably I've got to get it pretty goddamn good right as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would look at where that has originated from.
Mm-hmm.
Bit like when Duran shared an earlier memory before,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, that event impacted and has impacted the whole of Duran's life.
Yeah. I can resonate with that from being quite independent. So, parents split when I was quite young. And because of how circumstances kind of, came about, I had to be quite independent. So I think that independency then brings on that responsibility. And I think that's probably, if I think back, it's that fierce independence. I can do it. I can do it by myself, and I can do it, and not wanting to fail.
Why did you feel that way? Why did you feel you had to do it all by yourself?
Oh goodness.
And you don't have to talk about it here at all, just so you know that.
No, it's probably needs a bit more reflection, but I think it's because that was in sometimes that was the only option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. It's not that perhaps help wasn't around. It's probably I didn't know how to ask for it. You know, when you're younger, you kind of don't, do you? You just want to, you just want to kind of show that you're okay.
Sure, and I understand that.
Mm.
Would that have come down to a lack of safety, emotional safety?
Yes, perhaps. Yeah.
Sometimes when
And dealing with a lot of emotion, but perhaps not being able to deal with it in a way that an adult can. Because when you're young, like we talked about, when you're you're a small child, you don't really, you haven't lived to to rationalize things or understand things. So yeah, probably a bit of that.
what's coming up for you? I'm just going to let someone else in the room. But just think about that, because we adapt these archetypes as children: the responsible child, the adult child, the victim child, the wounded child,
Yeah.
free spirit child, you know, the rebel, all of those things.
Mm.
And just think about what was it that shaped what you thought about yourself, and the level of responsibility that you don't have anybody that you can rely on, that you cannot talk and share your vulnerability and your needs won't be met. So that's a lack of, if that's resonated, that's a lack of safety, emotional safety, and fears around being vulnerable, and fears around getting it wrong, and having to do it all and be responsible.
Yeah.
Because there's so much I need to be responsible. There's a fear that drives it. There's a lack of safety that's driving it. The safety you feel, or people who feel this way, know this. You kid ourselves. The safety lies in doing it all ourselves.
Yeah.
The only one who's got our back.
Yeah.
Because the world isn't safe.
Yeah.
Me.
And I think I mean, I certainly have evolved. It's there though. It just sits in the background. Although I do reach out now. I've got a lovely community. I've got more people. But yeah, it still doesn't just disappear. It's, I think that's the bit that I probably need to do some, through this course, do some work on, definitely.
You will, and you
Yeah.
get there, and you
Yeah.
back all
Yes.
the stuff that you've talked about, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it'll be very interesting and
Mm.
for you. So welcome, Mark and Jill.
Thank you.
Hello,
Oh, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Great to have you here. I
Right.
take it, are you Mark or?
I'm Mark. Yeah, Jill isn't with me.
Oh, well, it's nice to have you with us. So is this the first time that you've joined Be Coached?
Yes, my first time.
Amazing. So, well, I'm Anne-Marie.
Hello.
Hi, I'm the owner of Soul Awakening Academy. And the first part of, so 3 o'clock till now, we have all our coaches on and we
All
talk
right.
about and things like that. But then from 4 o'clock onwards, we just open the forum for anybody who has an issue or a challenge or something that they feel they might want to be coached on. So you may have something that you want to bring to share with the group and, get some coaching on, or you may not. You may just want to observe. It's totally up to you. But that's what happens.
Right. I've only just started in the chakra and healing.
Amazing.
Right. So I recently got the book.
Yeah.
So I've only just started to look at them.
Amazing. So when you say you've just got the book, what book?
I've got the Soulful Spirit, last one.
Oh,
and the alchemy.
oh, amazing. So which one have you started?
That's
Are you good? Sorry, say that again.
myself. I
Yeah,
started it. Yeah, my partner Jill isn't, just me.
yeah. So have you started? I can see some bookmarkers in there.
I've only just started to read, yes.
Love it. Okay, well, you're going to get so much out of that. So make sure, are you in our group, Soul Awakening Coach group?
As I say, I'm a beginner, so I'm not knowing what I'm supposed to do.
All right, well, don't you worry, we can help you. So we've got a big student group of are you on
Right.
Facebook?
Sorry?
Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got a group, a student group.
Right.
Because you've taken a course, you can join the group.
Yeah.
And it's called Soul Awakening Coach. You'll probably find it on your welcome email somewhere.
Okay.
Join the group.
Right.
And then you've got so many other people on there doing the same course as you and different courses, all sharing their stories and their journey. So you might find that quite nice to be a
Right.
part of.
Right. Okay.
And then let me know what you think about the books.
Yes. Hey, thank you.
That would be great. Hi, Candice, welcome. Hi, you're just muted at the moment.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm really glad you could make it and you got the link okay.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. So I was just saying that from 3 o'clock, we had the coaches on. So coaches taking the master and trauma courses. And now we're going to kind of shift gear into a bit of an open forum for anybody who has an issue, a challenge, or anything really that they want to be coached on or just want to bring to the room to get some clarity, insight with. Might not be you, Candice, but it might be. But this is an opportunity really just to bring anything to the table that you might want to be coached on. So I'll just
Gosh, how long have you got?
well, just less than an hour. But even if you get some insights and really, what coaching can do is it can help you shift perspective because the way that we see things is the belief system that we have, and normally that can be a bit of the issue. The heart of the issue is the way we're currently seeing something.
Yeah, I resonate with that.
So do you have Candice that you'd like to share?
I mean, I've done quite a few of your coaching course on the spiritual awakening. I've got both of your books. And like I say, I am a coach and I do counselling as well. But I can help everybody else. I just can't seem to help myself. And at the minute, I'm in like a self-sabotaging, isolating. My nan passed away 3 months ago and I've looked after her for the last 8 years. She had Alzheimer's. And I think now I've actually got time to process my feelings. Other things are coming up as well. And I don't really know how to deal with it, even though I can help other people deal with it.
Yeah, and I'm really, really sorry to hear about your loss.
Yeah.
So just honor that. And I am really sorry. I can see how painful that is for you.
Yeah.
Just before we do get into it, I just want to remind everybody, especially the new people, this is recorded and it's shared on social media just so people understand what coaching is and the positive effects it can have. So don't say anything that you think, oh gosh, I don't want people to know about this. So just be mindful and we can work with whatever you've got. So first of all, I would say there's absolutely no shame in being able to help other people and struggling to give that to yourself.
It's just a strange thing to do, though, isn't it? It's like I'm constantly helping people every day, yet I can't seem to get out of my own way.
Listen, I first to put my hands up and say that's absolutely normal.
Oh gosh.
Would
Well, that's good to know.
would everybody else agree that that's absolutely normal?
100%.
It's all like saying because you're a doctor, you should never be sick.
Yes, I suppose.
Or because you're a counsellor or psychiatrist or psychotherapy, you should never suffer with mental health.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, what would you like to have bring to the table? What is the deeper question? I know you mentioned self-sabotage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I was just, wanting to hear other people's what they were going through and if I could resonate with them. I wasn't too sure. I think I'm just doubting myself a lot at the minute and just wanted to see if this helped.
Yeah. What are you doubting yourself with the most?
Everything, I think.
What's
Life, like,
everything?
very spiritual. A lot of the work that I do is spiritual work. I do a lot of Reiki, cacao ceremonies, working with the afterlife, and I'm finding that I'm even questioning my own spirituality after my nan's passed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's something I'm struggling with because it's such a huge part of my identity.
Yeah. And when you say you're struggling with it, what do you mean by that?
I feel like I've lost faith and my belief system in the afterlife and things that I believed in before.
Is that because you haven't felt you can contact her yourself yet? Yeah. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I get that. And I understand the need for that, the desire for that. When somebody you've loved's passed on, that desire to be connected back to them, especially when the belief system you have is that you will be able to do that, and why
Yeah.
can't it even exist? Have I been?
I know that it exists, I work with it daily, but I'm just not getting the answers that I want. And I don't want this to turn into this big counselling session between me and you. I'm sure other people have got, lots of things that they want to talk about. I'm just, with spirituality being such a part of my identity, I feel like I have lost that.
Let me just ask you a question. Is that really true?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm just not getting what I want. So it's making me question it. But I know that I still believe in it.
What is it that you really want?
Conversation with her. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what is it that you really, really want to say to her?
I miss her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope that she knows how loved she was. And it was me that was with her when she passed. So I think I feel a bit of guilt as well because I gave her the medication and then she fell asleep after that medication and she never came round again. And then I'm thinking, could I have done that?
That must be really, really hard to carry.
Yeah. A lot of my family live in Australia. I live in the UK. And they were all 100%, we don't want my nan to suffer. She needs to have that medication. But because it was me that physically said to the nurse, yeah, give her that. And then there was just nothing after that. I'm like, should I have waited a bit longer before I gave it to her? It's always the ifs, whats, the buts. I hear it from my clients all the time, and I can have a conversation with them and tell them, what they need to hear. But for me, it's just, I don't know, it's different.
It's if just feeding back from what I've heard you say, Candice, what a situation you've and level of responsibility that I can't even imagine the heaviness of making that decision and not having anybody, it sounds like,
Nobody.
put you through it.
My son, like my son's 21. It's just been me, him, and my nan for the last 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we see, you know, my family in Australia via Zoom and all that kind of stuff. And I did manage to let my mum speak to my nan before I gave her the medication via Zoom. But it's not the same as you actually being there on your own, watching her take her last breath.
Having gone through that, Candice, that's pretty traumatic for anybody. Have you considered having counselling yourself?
Yeah, I've actually just been speaking to somebody about it. I said to her, I said, you know, I am a counsellor, but it's different. I need that
100%, yeah.
that support now.
Yeah, you do. There's stuff to work through there about what you're going through.
Yeah.
You know, when we do go through these crises, I only know this from my own experience, it's different for everybody. But when we go through these dark, you know, my experience was dark night of the soul, depression. I had to get rid of everything. I just could not stand to look at anything that was spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my crystals all went in a box and I've not looked at them since. When, you know, usually they're a huge part of my day. I use them with my meditation, I use them with my Reiki healing, and I just put them all in a box. I was like, this all a load of crap, you know. They don't do anything, there's no energy, there's no healing, none of it's helping.
I get that, and I experienced it, and I'm sure other people who've been through similar have experienced this is just absolute. This has got to go. I can't stand it in my vicinity anymore. Once we've worked through what we're going through, I tend to find that we awaken even more. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's a tunnel that we just have to go through and get to the other side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else has said that to me as well.
I pulled a card for you because we talk a lot about archetypes in kind of spiritual coaching, because they give us a bit of a wider perspective on what's going on without having to find the emotional names for it.
Yeah.
And the archetype that I got for you is the engineer. So
Okay.
every archetype has a light side and a shadow side. So it's sort of like yin and yang, and you can just pick up on what resonates you, if it resonates at all. But I'd like you to maybe think about how that engineer archetype might resonate with some of the stuff that you said about having the solutions for other people. Sorry, say that again.
Is the engineer come up because I'm usually the fixer?
That's just what I'm gonna say, like, just see how it resonates, especially when you say, yeah, you have the solutions for other people. Why can't I do it for myself? It's like very much that, right? I've got this, I know the protocol, I've got it for you. Because the light attributes are the ability to give creative energy, a practical expression, a talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas.
Sounds very on brand for me.
Yeah. The shadow archetype can be a reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. So I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit myself. But what I'm feeling into that, and it's more important about what you feel into that, is when you talked before about when you said, you know, I'm a counselor and I know how to help people, I just can't help myself.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're kind of not allowing yourself the grace just to be with the emotions of it and understand that you're actually really fucking hurt right now.
Oh, yes. I'm broken. And I've tried to sit with my feelings like I do cacao. I am a cacao practitioner, so you know, I have my cacao in the morning, and I'll usually sit and meditate when I have my cacao, and that's usually when I'll let myself sit in my feelings. But I've not even been doing that.
So that's kind of saying to me there is no mechanical solution for what you're going through right now. Like it's you know, you may be searching for that and thinking, oh no, I can't find it. Do you know what I mean? I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
And knowing that there is no mechanical solution for getting through grief, really.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
So I'm glad to hear that you are going to be sitting with a counsellor, because that's absolutely what you need, that loving support from
Yeah.
individual to.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to benefit from that hugely.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that. And you're in our Soul Awakening coach group, aren't you? Because I
Yeah,
see.
yes.
Yeah. So anything that you want to share on there, you know, you've got a group.
Yeah, it's fantastic. If anybody hasn't already joined it, then they should do.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for saying that. And obviously, you've got a host of coaches here as well. And the coaches are always looking for case studies.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever felt like
It's somebody's case study if they want me.
yeah, so you know, we can do that. Obviously, when the time is right for you, because you're going to go on a bit of a path.
Yeah.
When you feel, yeah, you know what, I can
Commit to it.
yeah, and you can let yourself get into it when it's the right time for you, and you'll know when that is.
Yeah, definitely.
Faith, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Anne-Marie.
Hi.
I'm walking and I saw your thing and I thought, oh, I'm going to come say hello.
I'll come say hello. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, yeah.
So,
There was a reason though it came up today and I thought, oh, this is interesting. Why has this popped in my inbox?
well, it's lovely to have you here. So we've got a little bit of time left. It might not be convenient for you right now, but this part of the coaching, we open the forum up to anybody who's got a bit of an issue, a challenge, or anything they want to bring to the coaching table, really, and just to see if we can get some insight or clarity for you. So do you have anything that is pressing, or do you just want to be part of the group? Totally up to you.
If you've got time, I'll sit down. I've currently got my own business now and I'm at a bit of a crossroads, Anne-Marie, which I think is why this has dropped in my inbox today amongst me 60,000 emails. So I'm at a bit of a crossroads where I'm not sure what to do next. I feel like there's something else that needs to be done that I need to do. I'm not sure what it is, and I feel a bit stuck. My goal for sort of 20 years was to work for myself. I've done that, and I kind of was like, oh, and it doesn't feel how I expected it to feel. So there's a very interesting lesson there about enjoying the journey.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's I think that's quite important to what you're going to say. But what is the question? What, like, how could I really help you? What do you really want to know? Get some clarity on.
I think I want some direction on next steps and purpose to sort of get me motivated again for what I want to do next.
Would it be right in suggesting that it feels potentially like you've lost a bit of your purpose?
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
I think my identity was very linked to work, and I think it's always been very linked to work for a long time. It's been a part of who I am. So now that identity has shifted, and I think age as well, I've stepped into a different phase of age of life. So finding a new sense of purpose, I suppose, having that thing that's further in the future to work towards, whether that's personal or work.
So when did you transition away from normal work?
About 18 months ago. So not very long.
And I feel obviously that you're feeling quite disappointed in how you had projected you would feel being in the situation where you're no longer working and maybe you're working for yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. I absolutely love the business that I've got. Yeah, it doesn't feel it's really bizarre. I can't put a finger on it, but it doesn't feel like I expected it to feel. No, that's not true, actually. I think I probably expected it to feel freeing. because you've got the freedom to do and to choose, and to nobody else making the rules for you. But I don't feel that freedom at all.
What do you feel instead?
Probably more responsibility. Yeah. I was like, duh, of course there's going to be more responsibility. And I've got a physical building as well. So I think that is that kind of having to be open, and yeah, it's very interesting.
That is very interesting, and I resonate with that. Just to make you aware, because I said to everybody else, this is being recorded and will be shared on social media, so only share what you're comfortable
No
having.
problem. Yep.
So it's interesting that. Would you say it's because I'll just be more direct with you because we've got a short amount of time, but would you say that having the physical building is giving you the lack of freedom?
I think that's definitely linked to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a physical space that has to be open and closed for customers to come to. Yeah.
So have you tuned into the solution, as in what if you didn't have that physical building, or in some way that was alleviated, you could still do what you love because you said you love it, recognizing that actually I don't want that responsibility. I've gone in this with a value of need and freedom, and now I have a commitment that makes this value. So there's a sticky point there. Have you tuned into how that might feel if that were no longer a problem and was no longer there?
Yeah. So I put a team in place to do the opening and closing, which is great. I think there is still a certain amount of responsibility to, if they're not very well or something happens and you need to step in and cover, there's always that what if bit of it. You can't completely leave it to run itself. And I accept that, because that's part of what having a business is, that you can't just leave it to run itself. You've got to do some of it. But yeah, I think it's maybe having that, and I feel like there's something else. I've been put here to do on this planet, and that was my stepping stone to. It was my first brick, if you like, in the wall of being able to do that.
So okay, so there's a big conflict here, isn't there? It's like it's you're telling yourself, right? Do you feel like this is holding you back from fulfilling that thing that you say you can feel is more, this greater thing? Do you feel like where you currently are with the unit and the responsibility, do you feel that it's holding you back, or do you feel like it could be a springboard?
Yeah, interesting question. I've always felt like it's the first bit, so it's the springboard to whatever else there is that's there to do. Yeah, something to reflect on that a bit and see if there is something that's there that is making me feel held back, because there's no logical thing for that.
Exactly. So it really is about holding a mirror up to what is going on here. What is it about the commitment? Somebody needs you and you've got to be there. What is it about that is really causing you a problem? Because I think there's a lot that can be unpacked around it, which we're unfortunately not going to be able to do in this half an hour.
Of course.
But there's always an underlying, we're telling ourselves one thing, we're feeling another. You're saying, I feel like I've got this deeper mission, higher purpose, but I feel held back. And it's like, well, what is actually holding you back? But potentially just the way that you're seeing things and you've got things set up. So I always kind of choose cards when people come on calls. These are the Caroline Mace archetype cards, and the card that I pulled for you is the Gambler. So every archetype has a light and a shadow side. So it's like yin and yang with every archetype. It's got superpowers and then it's like negative side. So the light attribute of the gambler is the willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And then the shadow is relying on luck rather than hard work.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So which one do you think is resonating with you the most? You know,
They've both got a pull there, Anne-Marie. I think I have got very strong intuition. And I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, just stay in your lane. You know, I've always been like a head up, look around, you know, make sure that you're sort of being aware of the world. The last few weeks, I've very much felt stay in your lane, focus on what you feel is right, even if other people don't understand it or what you're trying to do. And then the other side of it, hard work thing is really interesting. So I've definitely grown up, or my background has always been, one of my beliefs I've had to work really hard on is you've got to work hard to earn money. And I'm really trying to shift that, because actually there should be an ease to it as well. And it shouldn't rely on 80-hour work weeks. And where's the balance of life outside of that? So there's definitely a resonance in that card on both sides.
that's really interesting, and I think there's a lot of power in that programming that you've just said there.
Yes.
And I would definitely hold on to that programming and really dive a bit deeper with it, and see how this is playing out in what the story that you're telling yourself. I just picked another card for you, and it's the Child Divine. And it says, innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. So when I chose this card, I said, how can we help her? Do you know what I mean? So think about that, child divine. So that's the divine, as you say, you know, you feel so intuitive. So that's the child that speaks to spirit, the child that speaks to animals, nature. The shadow side is an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. But I don't know, I feel in this instance with the question that I asked, how can we help her? The light attributes is something about tapping into the innocence, the purity and redemption, suggest a special connection with the divine. So what do you, because I don't like directing it all the time. You've got the answers. I'm just here as a bit of a man. What is that suggesting that you may need to do based on the question, how can we help her?
I think look to that divine guidance that I know is there. Trust that the path will open up when the time is ready. And follow my intuition. So to do that, I have to tune in, go inwards more rather than looking at all the noise and even some of the noise of your own outward beliefs. And as you say, the stories that we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
But are they actually true?
Yeah. Because one side of you tells a story of work hard, climb the ladder, you know, to be responsible, like work hard, get, you know, that kind of like, not all, you know, the corporate authoritarian, this is how we do things in life, right? That's your path. But then the other opposite side of that is like, actually, that makes it makes sense in a 3D world, but really, I know it makes no sense because I'm so in tune with the divine, with my spiritual essence, that I know where I want to go and how to get there. So you're somewhere stuck in the middle, and I feel you're leaning too far into the corporate side.
Yeah.
Moved a bit too far off the divine side. and having some time to step into the child divine side.
Yeah.
And figuring out what that feels like, how you get there, and getting the answers. You know, that 5-year-old who didn't have a clue about money in the first place, no,
Yeah.
but knew she
Yeah.
had like super intelligence that came from elsewhere that directed her life and her dreams
Yeah.
and her choices and her wants and her needs and her love for whatever it was as a child that you had this love and desire to do. So I would say take the time,
Yeah.
step into that frequency of the child divine.
Sounds like we need a session, Emily.
So we're saying we have got a load of coaches that are all looking for case studies for different things, for smart sessions, for coaching sessions. So you know, you're in the group anyway, aren't you? So
I am, yeah.
I would definitely say, yeah, just volunteer yourself and we'll get you hooked up.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hopefully that helps, just to bring a little bit of light where we're so narrow and in our own shit that we can't see a way forward. You know, we all do it. So does anybody, I'm going to start to wrap up the session today, but does anybody have anything they'd like to bring to the table or say, or any insights? How is everybody feeling?
Anne-Marie, I just want to say thank you, because it's just given me the motivation that I need right now.
Good.
And just seeing how it all, well, just seeing you in action actually, and those conversations has just been, it's been really helpful.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for this session, and
Well, you showing up and being here and sharing what you shared and being present and being able to be vulnerable in that way, because that takes a lot. So that's always such a great layer to strip from the first step.
Lots of work to do, I think, in that space. So that's good.
Maybe as much as you think, but being able to learn to be safe is life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
All. So have a lovely weekend and have a lovely Christmas, obviously.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And have a great new year. Obviously, I'll be active in the groups, but this is our last Be Coach Live. We'll set one up again for like probably February. And yeah, have a wonderful Christmas, girls. I hope all of your dreams come true for the end of this year. And yeah, let's just connect again in the groups.
Thank you.
Lots of love. Take care. Have a
Bye.
great weekend. Bye.